Well, you know, they say every rose has a thorn, and well, the same may be true for the GOP tax plan. With one of the biggest, I'm calling it a penalty on marriage, and let me explain. Take someone, individual who earns $200,000 a year. He or she will fall under the 25% tax bracket under the GOP plan. But if you're married and the other person earns the same amount of money, then your income would have to, your tax would be $260,000. You fall on a 200%. So in every other bracket, it's double. The single person pays one half less of what a couple does, except there. So it just seems like this plan actually deters middle income people from getting married. It's better if people who are making less than $200,000 just move in together and both get a 25% rate. I want to discuss this now with Katie Frates, managing editor of Olympic Media and an editor for the Daily Caller. Also, Allie Stuckey, conservative millennial blogger and a contributing host to The Blaze, as well as Jenny Beth Martin, president and co-founder of the Party Patriots. Jenny Beth, let me start with you. Again, let me try to explain that. 25% rate. For a married couple, it begins at up to $260,000. For a single person, $200,000. It just seems like, again, if you're a couple and you're making pretty good money, why get married? Because you're going to be taxed so much quicker than you would if you stayed single.
Yeah, so they do address it in the higher income brackets, and I think that is good. And I think that they need to make sure that they're looking at how they can address it so that there is not a marriage penalty throughout the entire code. There are a lot of other really good things about the plan, and I think that we have to look at the package as a whole, and then understand that it's going to go through markup. The Senate will have a version of the bill, and what we see today is the first step in this process.
And I'm fine with that, but I do want to point that out, Allie, because, you know, to me, that's one of the big issues. If you want to talk economics, nothing's going to help our country more than household formation, family formation, people buying homes, people getting mortgages, people saving money to put their kids through college. That's the foundation of America's growth. It hasn't been happening, and this certainly won't help.
I absolutely agree with you. Now, I think that many parts of this plan are pro-family, pro-growth. However, in this case, I'm disappointed. You're absolutely right. There needs to be no penalties for marriage. In fact, we should be incentivizing marriage as much as possible. Of course, that increases the likelihood of having two-parent homes. And as we all know, statistically, two-parent homes are much better for the child, which consequently is better for the economy and is consequently better for society. So I'm absolutely on your side when it comes to this. As far as the rest of the tax code goes, I do think they do a good job of putting forth a pro-family, pro-growth, pro-business plan. There's no doubt about
that. Yeah, and let me go to Katie, because to your point, the child tax credit goes to $1,600 from $1,000. And what I thought was a great idea was this family tax credit, because so many of us now may have a parent living at home with them, an older relative living at home, and, you know, it costs money to take care of them. So I think that's a brilliant idea, although some wanted it to be more, Katie, than $1,600. Marco Rubio, in fact, really upset. He wanted the number to be significantly higher, but I think that's pro-family.
Well, this credit, you're absolutely right, is pro-family, and it's part of a family that people often forget about or don't immediately think of when it comes to something like taxes. The older parents, the grandparents that you would want parents and people to take care of as they age, and this incentivizes us to take care of the elderly, to look after our whole family, not just perhaps children, which is the easiest example to come by. And I think it's really good that it sets an example for people looking out for our generations as they get older. So I'm very happy to see that that's been raised.
Let's talk about the controversial SALT, state and local deductions. With respect to income tax, Jenny Beth, it's out the window. It will be a $10,000 with property. You think that compromise is good? And should we be compromising? Many folks feel like the rest of the country is subsidizing these wealthy blue states to begin with.
Yeah, I think that there's something I've noticed as I've been in D.C. Today, especially, a lot of people who live up here are really upset about this. But I think that in other parts of the country, like where I live in Georgia, people are going to be looking at it going, well, at least we're not subsidizing those high tax states with really big governments when we ourselves have voted for a more limited government locally. So I think that there is a balance, though, and it's important that there's a balance. You can't just hit people right out of the gate without having some sort of balance.
All right, ladies, I didn't mean to get on the soapboxes segment, but that family marriage penalty thing really bothers me. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it.